All set, Jay?
Are we all on? I think we're all on.
Well, good morning, everyone. Yep. I'm going to convene the meeting for Human Services. Good to see you all. Any remarks by the chairs? Representative Abercrombie.
Morning, Madam Chair. Just a couple of quick housekeeping items. First of all, just for the public that's watching this, if a lot of us look like our heads are turning, most of us are on multiple Zooms. So we're trying to figure out our devices so that we can pay attention to both. So don't think that we're, ignoring the public on this. We're just trying to do two things at once. The second thing is what we're doing today is raising concepts. What does that mean? You're voting to allow an item on the agenda to get a public hearing. Some of these items, we have ideas about them, what the proponents wanted. Some of them, quite honestly, all we were given was a title. So the details are still in the works. So I just want for clarification for people to know what you're voting on today. Thank you, Madam Chair, and good morning to everyone.
Senator Berthel.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Good to see everyone. I would actually, if I may, just echo what the good chair from the House said. These are concepts today. Some of us do have concerns, not just in this meeting, in this committee, but in other committees with bills that are really just the title. And sometimes we question whether or not they should be moved forward for a public hearing, because we really don't have any. There's no guts to it, if you will, or meat and potatoes, or whatever you want to call it. And there is occasionally some consternation and concern about that. But I think that given the process and the rules that we are in this very, very short session this year that we are required to operate under, this is the way we, I guess I'll say, sometimes, unfortunately, we have to move things. But I look forward to hearing what my colleagues have to say, and look forward to hopefully a quick meeting as well. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Senator. Representative Case.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And, as everybody has stated, yes, it's a short session, and, everybody would like to see the meat and potatoes of the bills that we have. And speaking with the House Chair, we thought it was going to be a lower number of bills coming through, but I think we've seen more bills this time than we have this early in session last year. But with that said, we're ready to move forward, and I think we're ready to have a rather quick meeting. And when you're ready, I'd like to make a motion.
Thank you. I thank you all for your comments, and it's important for the people watching to understand what we're doing also. But most of us have been here, and I know who doesn't like the idea of placeholders, and we have this conversation over and over, but these are the rules, and this is what we govern by, these rules of getting bills out. We have a lot of bills. I'm surprised also how many we have, but we also have a lot from the agency that built the agenda in this short session. So there's even more work to do in a shorter session. So thank you all for your comments. So I don't know if you spoke privately in your caucus to agree to a consent calendar.
Madam Chair, I'd like to move items 1 through 37 onto consent.
Madam Chair, I'll second the motion.
I can interrupt. You first have to form the consent calendar.
Yes, first we're going to, and
well,
we have to also read the
I'll make
title.
a motion to form the consent calendar.
And I'll second that one too.
We're in this space. My heart is palpitating. I'm love. love. Let me just, Marie, but I do need to read the titles also, don't I?
Yes, it's wise to do that, just to go through them and then take a vote on the consent calendar at the end.
Okay. So first of all, there's an agreement to create a consent calendar. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Questions? I'm so enamored with all of you. So thank you. All right, so the first item for the consent, and these are all to be raised. They are just concepts. They have not a lot of language behind them, but they're concepts. So number one is an act concerning Medicaid. Number two, an act concerning the advisory board for persons who are deaf, hard of hearing, or deaf-blind. Number three is an act concerning long-term services and supports. Number four is an act prohibiting home care contracts that penalize clients for directly hiring agency staff. Number five, an act concerning service animals. Number six, an act concerning data collection to prevent malnutrition among senior citizens. Number seven, an act prohibiting involuntary discharge from nursing home and residential care homes to temporary or unstable housing. Number eight, an act concerning temporary family assistance. Number nine, an act concerning a community ombudsman for home care. Number 10, an act concerning standards for interpreters for deaf, blind, and hard of hearing persons. Number 11, an act limiting state recovery of public assistance payments. Number 12, an act concerning the Autism Spectrum Disorder Advisory Council. Number 13, an act prohibiting clawback of certain funds retained by nonprofit providers of human services under contract with the state. Number 14, an act increasing the minimum amount of assets that may be retained by the spouse of an institutionalized Medicaid recipient. Number 15, an act concerning technical amendments to human services statutes. Number 16, an act concerning the opening or setting aside of parentage judgment. Number 17, an act authorizing the Department of Social Services to contract with other states. Number 18, an act concerning funding and oversight of fatherhood initiatives. Number 19, an act concerning certificates of need for long-term care facilities. Number 20, an act authorizing the Department of Social Service eligibility workers to administer oaths. Number 21, an act concerning employment services assessment interviews and sanctions for temporary family assistant beneficiaries. Number 22, an act concerning federally qualified health center payments and non-emergency dental services. Number 23, an act exempting Medicaid state plan amendment and waiver submissions filed in response to a declared emergency or disaster from notice and public hearing requirements. Number 24, an act concerning deadlines for mandatory reporting of suspected elder abuse and penalties for failure to report. Number 25, an act concerning temporary family assistance time limits in a state public health emergency. Number 26, an act concerning promoting healthy eating by nutrition assistant beneficiaries. Number 27, an act concerning the program for all-inclusive care for the elderly. Number 28, an act concerning increasing the age from 8 to 18 years of age for medical assistance for children, regardless of immigration status. Number 29, an act eliminating income and asset limits for the MedConnect program for persons with disabilities. Number 30, an act concerning increasing the rate of Medicaid reimbursement for home care services. Number 31, an act concerning the governor's budget recommendations for human services. Number 32, an act concerning the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer health human services and opportunity partnership. Number 33, an act expanding access to the Connecticut home care program for the elderly. Number 34, an act concerning equitable payment, Medicaid payment, and eligibility treatment for applicants, recipients, and family caregivers. Number 35, an act equalizing the Medicaid rates for providers for inpatient mental health services in Eastern Connecticut. Number 36, Enact requiring long-term care facilities to conduct sex offender background checks on staff and residents. And finally, number 37, Enact concerning application of the Indian Child Welfare Act in custody decisions involving Native American children. Hallelujah. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Seconded, Rep Hughes.
Is it a roll call vote that I'm doing?
Madam Chair, is there a roll call vote, but I think for members that would just like to say a few words.
Questions? Are there hands up? Representative Master Fonseca, how are you?
I'm very well, Senator Moore. How are you? It's very nice to see you and to see everybody. Yeah, just a few comments on here, maybe just a question for clarification first. Before these bills go to a public hearing, will language be drafted?
Yes, they will, but we'll also learn more when we go into a public hearing about what people are asking. We'll have more language than we have right now.
So the public will be aware of what they're testifying on. There will be language on the site that they can look up each individual bill and
It won't
see.
be complete, but there'll be language, yes. Am I correct, Marie?
Yes, every bill will be filed publicly. It'll have a number, it'll be completely drafted. That's under the joint rules for the public hearing.
Okay, and then will they have enough notice? How much notice, like prior to a public hearing? I don't know when the public hearings are scheduled, but a lot of times the public signs up to testify and the language isn't there yet. Will that language be there prior to the notice of a public hearing?
Yes, under the joint rules, the bill has to be fully drafted, filed with a number, and receives 5 days notice in the bulletin.
Okay, thank you. Just a couple of comments. I'm really not a big fan of voting on titles. I certainly understand the process. And it is a short session, and this is the rules that we are governed by. I don't necessarily agree with it. I always like to see the language to see what I'm voting on. But I understand the public will have input. They will see the language prior to that. I can just look at titles on a lot of these bills that I have concerns with. But I guess, I will support these going to a public hearing. Certainly not my preference, but I certainly understand the process. And hopefully going forward in the future, someday the legislature will have language prior to us voting on just titles. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else? I don't see, let me know if there's someone that I'm not seeing on the screen. If there are no more questions or comments, we'll do a roll call vote.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We're voting on consent calendar A, and we will begin the vote. And just as a reminder for legislators to state their name and then how they're voting prior to the vote so that your face comes up on the camera. Thank you. So Representative Abercrombie.
Abercrombie, yes.
Senator Moore.
Moore, yes.
Senator Moore, could you repeat that, please?
Moore, yes.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Berthel.
Good morning, Madam Clerk. Senator Berthel votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Case.
Representative Case votes yes.
I'm sorry, Representative Case, would you mind repeating that?
Representative Case votes yes.
Thank you so much. Senator Lesser.
Senator Lesser in the affirmative.
And I'm so sorry, I think there must be a delay on the Zoom today. Would you mind repeating that, Senator?
I don't mind at all. Senator Lesser, yes.
Thank you. Representative Leeper.
Representative Leeper, yes.
Thank you. Senator Cabrera. Representative Butler.
Heather, I just want to say that this is Representative Santiago. He's having a difficult time getting in.
Okay, I don't see him in the waiting room, but I'm sure the chairs will let us know how long the votes were being held open for, so we'll make sure that we are able to record his vote. Thank you, Representative Santiago. And so Representative Butler. Representative Cook.
Representative Cook votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Dathan.
Representative Dathan votes yes.
Thank you. Representative Garibay.
Representative Garibay votes yes.
Representative Goupil.
Representative Goupil votes yes.
Representative Hughes,
Representative Hughes votes yes.
Representative Santiago,
Representative Santiago votes yes.
Representative Stallworth,
Representative Stallworth votes yes.
Representative Aurora,
Your mic is,
Representative Aurora votes yes.
I'm sorry, Representative, would you mind repeating that?
Yes, I would certainly repeat it. Representative Aurora votes yes.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Buckby,
Good morning, Madam Clerk. Representative Buckby votes yes.
thank you. Representative Master Francesco,
Thank you. Representative Mastro Francesco votes yes.
thank you. Representative Scott,
Good morning. Representative Scott votes yes.
thank you. And Representative Wood,
Representative Wood votes yes.
thank you. And by any chance, has Senator Cabrera, Representative Butler joined since I called them? All right, Madam Chair.
so the votes will be open until, is it 1? Did we say 1 o'clock? Heather,
That's what my request was. Is that acceptable to everyone?
that's fine.
All right.
Kathy, did you want to say anything?
Just, so we were notified yesterday that on February 28th, which is a week from Monday, we are going into session. We're supposed to have a DDS/DSS waiver hearing. This meeting is really important because the only way we can get those dollars to the providers is by us voting on this. So this is what we are going to do. The leadership has agreed to push session to 10:30, and we're going to change our meeting time to 9 a.m. You'll all be getting a notice about it because it's a joint hearing with appropriations, but I just kind of wanted to give you the heads up so that you have it on your radar. None of us saw this coming, so we're, like we said at the beginning of this session, we're doing the best we can with the time that's allowed us. So on the 28th, our meeting will be at 9 a.m. for the waiver hearing with DDS and DSS, and then from there we'll go into session. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any other comments?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to, unfortunately, I mean, Kathy, I understand we're in a tough position and we need to go through that. I know leadership needs to look at it too. A lot of these people are going to be driving in at that time and it's going to be very difficult to question. So I just tell my caucus to please, look at it and have your questions ready. We don't want people speaking when they're on the road. And I don't think it's a great advantage for us to do this when we can't really concentrate on what's going on, but we should be concentrating on what's on the road. And we have to be in the Hartford. So with that, I just wanted to put that forward. I know we're on a crunch time and we're on a session that we have to get stuff done.
Thank you.
Oh, there's always an alternative representative. We
Well,
can deem it
that being
approved and not vote. We have that process. You know how I feel about it.
No, and I do, and I appreciate you speaking up on that. It's difficult that our leadership really is okay with us driving on the road and being in a meeting. So that I will take up with my leadership.
Well,
Because
I think that's
getting there too early is, it's a difficult time with traffic.
I agree with you there about the travel time, but I think it's a little unfair to say that, leadership wants us driving and talking. I kind of take offense to that. I think that it's a short session. We have to do what we have to do, and I think they're doing the best they can time-wise. And no offense, all of us just have to get up earlier and get here. I mean, that's the reality. We're not a 9 to 5 type of job, right? We come in when we're supposed to come in. And if we're here till 10 o'clock at night, we're here till 10 o'clock at night. That's just how it works. So
Zoom all day.
Hopefully the blowout last night.
I didn't spend any of it. We have Friday night. We're going to dinner though.
Okay, he's off. Let me just say, I understand both sides of this. The Senate's not going to be in, but I understand the difficulty of having something at 9 o'clock in the morning, and some people are traveling an hour and a half. Kathy, did we look at another day? Was there an opportunity for a different day?
There isn't with the schedule right now, because if they move it to another day for session, I mean, for us to have the hearing, it means we have to bump somebody else, right? Because our timelines for our committee rooms are very, very tight. And even on Zoom, so what people have to understand is even though we're doing Zooms, we have to have a room that's connected to that, and we're only allowed to have up to 10 committees in that room. So there isn't a lot of flexibility with the rooms. The second thing to remember is the longer we prolong this, the longer it's going to take to get these dollars to the providers. And they've been waiting for this money since last year. You know, that's why I said, you know, I'm in favor of not having the hearing and deem it approved. Because the reality is we're not making any changes to the waiver.
That's right. That's right, Representative Abercrombie. We did say, let's not do the waiver hearing and let's just move it, right?
Yes, we did. So
Sorry. Yep.
we gave an option.
I was with you on that, Representative Abercrombie.
And for all fairness, that's not fair. People need to ask questions if they want questions. It's a transparency.
Well, we could debate that, Jay, but the reality is all they have to do is call the agencies. They could have we talked about doing a briefing instead of a hearing, which would have been easier to get all our members at. So we were not sidestepping the process by any means. We gave another option. And in all fairness, right, this was a decision that was made for both sides of the aisle. This wasn't like we decided this. Everybody decided to go forward with the hearing. So it wasn't like, you know, it was one side or the other. And we did give an alternative. We gave the option of having a briefing versus a hearing, which would have made it much easier for all of our members. So we did give an alternative.
Okay, so.
Senator Moore, I'm sorry, Representative Gupil has her hand raised.
Yes, recognizing Representative Gupil.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just for the benefit of those tuning in and listening, I was wondering if you can just give a short list of those agencies that are waiting for this funding and potentially what exactly.
Representative, you can check with us offline if you'd like that, but I want to stick to what this meeting is about, this meeting here. And
understood.
Is that okay?
No, thank you. I was just thought for the benefit of those listening to the conversation, but thank you.
But they'll be able to hear it on Monday also when we have the hearing.
Madam Chair, if I may, just real quickly.
Senator Berthel.
So I know with respect to this meeting that's going to take place on February 28th, I think that because we have a joint meeting with appropriations, generally speaking, the votes have to be taken kind of concurrent or whatever the right word is. I'm thinking maybe, and I don't know, maybe Marie can shed some light on this or someone else can shed some light. Maybe because we do have people driving in, maybe there's people that might be concerned about voting while they're driving, whatever. Maybe there's a way to change the rules, suspend the rules for a moment to say that we can hold votes until the chamber gavels in, and maybe find a way to do that. So if someone really doesn't want to do if they feel they're at risk for driving and talking, that they can get there. And I think we have a little time to figure out whether or not we could make that happen. And that might be a nice accommodation for any of us that would be traveling or unavailable by car. There's a way we might be able to say, let's hold the vote right until the scheduled time for the chamber to gavel in or something like that. Just something for consideration. Thank you.
Well, I would say let's recess this meeting and then let's the chairs talk among ourselves to figure out, is there a way with our attorney to figure out how we could do that.
Great. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Well, let me just say one thing before you recess. I think that's a great idea, except the challenge is this, and I just want the public to realize that we don't have the power to change rules internally. That
No,
has to
understood.
be done on the floor, and we're not in session before the 28th. So for us to come in and be in the House and the Senate before the 28th is going to be really challenging. So I just want the public not to think we're trying to do something behind closed doors. The rules are, in order to change them, it has to be a vote on the floor of the House and in the Senate. So
I understand that, Representative Abercrombie. I just don't want to belabor this. I want to be able to finish this meeting and then have a conversation wherever it is to figure out what we need, not trying to change anything or do anything behind the scenes, but not to keep this as a part of the meeting that we were having on this subject of raising these concepts.
Senator Moore, did you want to announce the date and time of the next meeting?
I did. Let me just see, my computer went down. I'm sorry, would you just?
Sure, I'd be happy to. So the next meeting of the Human Services Committee will be a week from now, Thursday, February 24th at 9 a.m.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anyone else? For the good of the order, recessing the meeting. Go forth and do good work. Thank you.
Thank
that
you, Madam
threshold
Chair.
For the purposes of the pandemic funds.
See, Representative Butler has joined.
I see him. He's connecting, but I still don't see Cabrera, Senator Cabrera.
Marilyn, I'm going to sign off so I can go back to education, okay?
Okay, I'll talk to you
Thank
later.
you.
Okay? You're welcome.
So.
Yeah, finally.
Yes,
You're in the room.
I'm so glad you're able to join, Representative Butler. I'm sorry for the
I am
technical
too.
difficulties.
I've been having all kinds of troubles from starting right at 10 o'clock, but I'm on now.
Wonderful. So what happened was there is a consent calendar A, which is items 1 through 37 from the agenda. And if you would be so kind as to turn on your camera, and please let me know how you vote.
Okay, hold on just a second, and I'll do that.
Hello,
Okay.
Representative. So how do you vote on consent calendar A?
Yes, I vote yes on that consent calendar.
Thank you, Representative Butler.
That's it?
Yep. Have a wonderful day.
All right, you too. Thank you. Bye.
All right, then I'm going to leave, Heather. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Moore, and I will contact Senator Cabrera just to let him know how long the votes will be held open until.
Appreciate that. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Hello, Senator.
Hi, Heather.
Thank you so much for joining the
I can hear you
meeting.
here.
And so the one vote, it was a consent
Can you
calendar.
hear me? I'm
Oh,
having
sorry.
trouble hearing you.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's showing that I'm muted here, that I'm not muted. Huh. I wonder why you can't hear me. That's odd.
Can't hear you.
Okay, do you want, I'll text you.
Yep. Let's see. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, I don't know what's going on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's strange.
Very strange.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hmm. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, Senator. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me or no?
I can
Oh,
hear
that's
you.
strange.
I can hear you, but you can't hear me. I'm so sorry.
Okay. I think you can hear me now, right?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, great, great, great. All right, there we go.
Yay! So sorry about all that. Like technology is wonderful until it isn't, right?
No, no worries. I was able to pull over, so I'm good now.
Thank you. Okay,
Yeah,
so there was consent calendar A, which is items 1 through 37 on the agenda. And do you have any questions about those items?
No, I don't.
Perfect. So how do you vote, Senator?
Senator Cabrera votes yes.
Thank you very much, Senator. And the next meeting will be a week from today at 9 a.m.
Great. Thank you, Heather. I appreciate the effort.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.